You guys are gonna love this. Our next guest has had 83 arrests and 19 years of homelessness and abuse, but now she's an advocate, an author, changing women's lives around the world. We are so happy to welcome to Emotional Mojo, Miss Tonier Cain. Tonier, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So happy to have you. We gotta talk about your life and your story because you endured a very traumatic childhood. Eventually it led you to an even worse life on the streets, like we mentioned. Let's take a look. We have a little clip of the trailer from your documentary, Healing Neen.
My name is Tonier Cain. I was molested, I was raped, I was beaten, I was raped, and I was like, this is how it's supposed to be for me. I am nothing, I'm never gonna amount to anything, and this is how it is. And I'll stay here, I'll die just like this. And I had become comfortable with that.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
That is intense.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of set it up for us. You'd become comfortable
Yes,
with that
absolutely.
kind of life. So
Absolutely.
what happened from there? Obviously things changed.
Yeah, well, the fact is I found myself in prison, pregnant, and I had already lost 4 kids to the system, and I just could not go through having another baby snatched from my arms. And I didn't know what else to do. And I remember somebody telling me, you know, it's all else fail, why not look up to God? And I'm telling you, I laid on my prison floor, not even just crying out in desperation. But I just did not want to live like that. I wanted to have a chance to be a mother. I wanted that opportunity to heal, and I was never given that opportunity.
That's so amazing. Was there one specific incident that led to you saying, this has to change, and that kind of propelled your healing process forward?
Well, you know, a lot of people ask me that, and what I realized was I always wanted to change. What the problem was, nothing was put into place for me to be successful in it. When you have a whole bunch of trauma and you go into a system that don't really identify the trauma as an individual, you get more layer to layer. They do more harm, not intentionally, but they do. So it takes you further away from the possibility of healing and recovering. So this opportunity came for me to heal, and what I was able to do was, for the first time in my life, over 19 years, not have a lazy gardener anymore.
Yeah?
Meaning people not just dealing with the substance abuse, the homelessness. They got dirty with me. They got down, they got their root.
Yeah.
Exactly.
As a psychotherapist,
Exactly.
I'm sure
Absolutely.
you're loving that. And you
Exactly.
kind of became your own advocate.
Yeah.
I mean, if nobody else is going to do it for you, guess what? I'm going to get up and I'm going to make
Absolutely.
stuff happen. And so you have this book. It's called Healing Neen. And it's not just another story about victims and survivors. It's about the value of life and death and suffering. I mean, what do you want your readers to take away from this book?
I just want people to understand, no matter how bad it is, no matter how bad it looks, there is hope. As long as we're breathing, there is an opportunity to heal. And I tell providers that we provide services and we so easily give up on people. We don't have the right to deem anybody hopeless. There is, as long as there's an opportunity by somebody breathing, there's a chance that they can get better. And once we get better, the people that we become, it's no limit.
Well,
It's
and
no
let's
limit.
talk about what you're doing to
Yeah.
help people, because you travel around the country, you train providers, you speak one-on-one with women in prisons and in hospitals. What's the most inspirational thing about what you do now? What are you loving?
I think what I love mostly is that even though it can get so overwhelming sometimes, I know that somebody can have just that dash of hope. And my story is, you know, it's a lot of people with a story. Everybody
Yeah.
has a story. So my story is the story of hope. I want to give people the opportunity to see clearly that we do recover. I want women and men know that. I mean, I did some horrible things in my life. The book really gets gritty. However, you know,
You're airing it all out.
just understanding that those are things that we did or things that happened to us. It's not who we really are once we remove those layers.
Well, so our challenge, right?
It's
Aren't you
forgiveness.
curious?
Yeah. Was there anyone in your life that you had to forgive, or how did you embrace forgiveness for healing?
Forgiveness is difficult, obviously, but I found my forgiveness through my relationship with God, with Jesus, because I'm like, if God can forgive me, why can't I forgive myself? So that came, and for me, if I don't forgive an individual, and sometimes I still struggle with it, but I understand it keeps me up at night, not them.
Yep.
It hinders
That's what
my
we're saying.
progress, not theirs.
Yeah.
And so I love my life. I live a great life. I really do. And I don't want anybody messing up that life I have today by keeping me up all night.
Well, I want to
There's
say
the
thank
challenge.
you to Tonier Cain. Check out the book, you guys. It's called Healing Neen, and it's available now. Thank you so much for joining us.